Hello and welcome to Operations Void. This is your host, Forgotten Void. This week we will be showing how not to play Ultimate Frontier with Untamed as our secondary guest, only division mate. And so the first thing you do is you take a battleship, your division mate takes a cruiser, and you get into tough. You spawn in the very far south because battleships should spawn in C5. But if you're in division of 3 members or less and one member is in a battleship and one member is in a cruiser, or 2 in a battleship, if you're not all in the same ship type and somebody's in a battleship, the battleship will spawn with everybody else. And so that's how we start. We start in the south. And if you want to see my build for Scharnhorst, go ahead and click the link here. This video has my build for it. Scharnhorst 43, the only thing I changed for it is the slot 2, I put the engine boost mod for coal. But you don't need to do that if you don't want to spend coal. So, normally what you should do, even if you spawn in a battleship, is just head straight north, like with all the cruisers. You just play it like you're playing a big cruiser. And that's what you should do. And I was planning on doing that at first. And then I see everybody else just going straight in. And I'm thinking, do I continue? Because as you see, like, I'm going straight in, like I would. Because I'm planning to play this like a big cruiser. But seeing how you have 2 cruisers and a destroyer heading for the center, I decide they need someone to tank for them. And so I make a split decision to go in. So you don't go like this, where you make a split decision to do something weird. This is not how you should play tough normally. I'm only doing this because there are other people also going in. If I was going, you don't do this alone. If you're going to make stupid decisions, you do it as a group. So I notice one cruiser's coming back because they're realizing that this is a stupid idea, and they're coming back. But I see the Shiratsuyu, and I know the Shiratsuyu is going to go up and spawn the Clemson. So even if I charge in, if I don't charge in, Clemson's going to spawn, so I might as well make the best of it. And your favorite game, I'm sorry, but the Shiratsuyu started it. So, the Iowa up there is going to have to deal with the Clemson, however you want to say it. And as you see, the Shiratsuyu is torpedo reload booster. So he doesn't have smoke, so he's going in to use the smoke of the he's using a smoke of the other destroyers that we killed to hide his presence. So I'm using the indicator, torpedo lead indicator, just to check to see if I can torp anything, but I realize it's not worth it, so I keep on going. And we're just charging. And by more or less angling into the battleships, they can't overpen the nose of Scharnhorst because they do not have 16-inch guns. They need they need 16-inch guns to overmatch, or at least 15 and a half. As you see, the Clemson has spawned. It's up there. And we're going to continue going straight. And continue going north. Not north, but towards the carrier. Because right here, the reason why you generally don't want to be here is because after the cruisers up north and are destroyed, you have 2 to 4 Omahas that spawn down here in this position. And Omahas have a ridiculously high DPM. Really, really, really high DPM. They're floating citadels, but they have a very high DPM. And that's only counting one side of the ship. You counted both, they have some of the highest DPM of cruisers in the game. Just because they have so many casemates. And because their casemates are all targeted, they have much better accuracy than secondaries. So even the battleships with a higher theoretical DPM, the cruisers there have a higher DPM because they can hit more. And so here they spawn. And so I'm seeing about torping, but there's a Shiratsuyu kind of in the way. As you can see, can't really torp. So we're just going to use guns. Guns, guns, guns. There's a citadel. See if we get our front turrets back. So after noticing the Shiratsuyu just spawn killing and destroying the ships, I decided maybe I should give him some more support. And so yeah, that we just deleted the cruisers very quickly. All 4 of them gone. So Shiratsuyu would basically anything that can throw out 4 racks of torpedoes can do this. You just have to have at least one on each cruiser. Probably the ones that run 3 racks are probably the best. So actually the best would be Tashkent 39 if you could do it, because you get 1 rack per, and then you don't have to use your torpedo reload booster, as you just use the engine boost and run away. Yeah, that's probably the best one. Akatsuki, the tier 7 destroyer, could also probably do it pretty well. Even Fubuki could probably do it. But anything with 3 racks or can throw out and has a torpedo reload booster and can throw out 4 or more.
An enemy aircraft carrier was spotted in the combat area. Destroy her.
Oh look, a ranger. So we're going to go up here. So another thing you generally shouldn't do is engage the ranger engaging the ranger means you have to deal with a Sims, a Dallas, and a Farragut. And we're also down here in the center where there shouldn't be... the next wave could possibly spawn, and I don't know where the next wave is going to spawn. And I'm just sitting here bombarding the ranger with guns when I should get closer to use secondaries. Because Scharnhorst is not known for her accuracy. And we get the pity down. So we got the ranger, and it's mostly because your favorite game again was our distraction, our bait. He kindly took all the Sims and the Farragut and the Dallas and shooting at him instead of us. So we're gonna try and go and help him out. And we're using armor piercing because armor piercing does more damage against destroyers when in a German ship with battleship caliber guns. So anything above 11-inch, which is 283 millimeter guns, and which is what the Deutschland class, Graf Spee and Scharnhorst, they do more damage with armor piercing than they do with high explosive. Anything of with heavy cruiser and below, high explosive does more for some reason. That's just how German guns work. And because of that, if we're using armor piercing against destroyers, we get to deal more damage and kill them faster. The downside it by not using how explosive is you don't destroy modules unless you get a direct hit, and they're already damaged. or they have less HP than an overpen. And so we had our secondaries on Sims, and so we're doing a zigzag to dodge torpedoes. I'm going to go ahead and throw torpedoes out for the Dallas just in case. And we got out of here just in time because the first wave did in fact spawn in the south. And so with the torpedoes there and their secondaries running, not too worried about the Dallas anymore, so we're going to put our gallons to the other side. And there we go, no more Dallas. And since the fire is already halfway burnt, I'm just going to let it burn out. We'll DCP the next fire. And so, by using our teammate in the Iowa, may he rest in peace, we were able to take on the, well, more or less take on the Dallas and the 2 destroyers. There we go. Finally got a Citadel. I'm trying to move in so that they'll swap to armor piercing instead of high explosive to make the fire damage worth it, because they're using armor piercing, then they pen less, which I probably should have DCP'd the fire earlier. But, oh well. I'm playing poorly and getting away with it. That is the whole mantra of this video. Like, missing. Don't miss. It's bad for you. Should always hit like that. And another thing is, you kind of don't want to be in the center here, especially on lower HP, because then Whiskey spawns. And Whiskey has very high DPM. Because destroyers have higher DPM than cruisers, and most cruisers. They have higher DPM than most cruisers, and higher DPM than battleships. And that the DPM is boosted because this is ops. So the destroyers become scary. And there we go, we get our Luchens heal. And so I'm thinking, do I want to bow in? Do I want to bow into these? Oh, look, we got, yeah, there's Whiskey. And we have HE to try and break some things, and we only get 1 hit. And I decide right here that I'd rather deal with Whiskey because our team is entirely focusing on them. Whereas the enemy is focusing... In fact, the Whiskey started focusing on my team because they came closer. So I decided to stick this rock in between me and the second wave as Whiskey is getting hammered. And now there's no more Whiskey. So we're going to swap to focusing on the second wave. Now we're kind of out of position for the third wave. The third wave is very, very far away. So I'll have to run for the third wave or try to go for it once the second wave is dealt with. But what is most likely going to happen is I'm going to be tanking most of the second wave as a battleship should. And that's when I realized I had high explosives still. And see, we're down south, so we're not anywhere near the healing circle. We can't really go towards the healing circle, nor prepare for the next wave, because they're all focusing on us. And recently, in the past couple of patches, the uh, Western Wave, that I want to call it, the Western Wave, the one spawns on the 1-2 line, they all have an interesting path where they head north as if they're going above the islands at D3. They're going north of the islands at D3. So I think there might have been a bug or a pathing bug or their spawn location got, or pathing, something triggered so that they are going a little bit further north than they should than what the actual path is, because they're supposed to go south of the island. And it could just be a simple tweaking of the bot pathing mechanics, because those are usually closer to a base code thing, and so they affect not only ops but also, well, they're tweaked so that they fix things on co-op or asymmetric, and it ends up affecting ops, because ops pull from that same code but have a little bit more stricter rules for some things, like you're supposed to go here or whatnot, and I'm not sure how that goes. Oops. And so I'm doing a no-no thing, and that's going straight bow into a Colorado. You're supposed to angle, because angling means they'll hit your belt. You're going bow in, they hit your bow, and overmatch. So I'm going in, I'm going to throw torpedoes, but then I notice it has 3 fires. My teammate, untamed, he set a triple fire with his funny button, and so that's why the HP went down so quickly and allowed us to survive, as we have no heals left. But because of the spawn positioning, we were in a bad position for both spawns. We were good for shooting, but also bad for being shot at, so we got shot at quite a bit. And because we kept on this certain side so that both spawns kind of spawned in a bad position for us, third spawn spawned really far away. So now here we are using our spotter plane, which Scharnhorst 43 does not get. So we're using our spotter plane to try and do some little bit of damage and say, I'm helping. And instead we get 3 ricochets on a Cleveland. 11-inch guns, aren't they great? Now, if it was this range and Scharnhorst 43 and Scharnhorst 43 had the range, it probably wouldn't have been ricochets, because 43 has better pen. But this is the original Scharnhorst. Let's see. Having to lead so far, it's hard to designate a target. Well, yeah, no, this is what we're doing, because everybody else who stayed at the heal circle is now in a better position to shoot, or the faster ships. If this is another thing, if Scharnhorst 43, you could use the speed boost to get out of situations. This is normal Scharnhorst, so I lie in the bed I make. It's not as bad as Colorado, but still only 30-ish knots without maneuvering. And so we're at a turn to go north to try and get more shots in. At this point, all we're doing is damage farming, as somehow, being in all the worst positions, we're one of the last 3 to survive. Two of the enemy ships survived, but we got a C-star, we got 5 stars. We did do a decent 169. Now, this isn't like an amazing game. Amazing would be this video here about running a mines, but this isn't a mines. So, this is just a Scharnhorst. 7 kills with 5 citadels is actually not bad considering what we're able to hit. Oh, look, we're also top of the team because we got the 7 kills. We were out and about and doing things and getting shot at and tanking and doing damage and spotting. And so spotting damage is a decent 57k. 57k is actually really high in ops because usually you're not getting spotting damage. Unless you actually try to get spotting damage, like you spot for somebody who's sitting in a smoke screen, the bots are just firing, and so they're visible anyway to anybody, and so it's hard to get spotting damage. We got some decent potential damage, which is not really worth much. They decreased how much that was worth recently in the spring, I think, in February. And as you see, most of our damage comes from our main battery because this particular map is a long range, and so that's why we don't have such high damage. Scharnhorst is a brawler you want to be close in because we're not close in so much, and it's more of a long range map. Scharnhorst is not so good because we only get 40k with our secondaries. This is why she was really good to Nrai, because that's a close range map, and so you're going to get a lot higher damage with your secondary battery, possibly 100, 130, maybe more in Nrai, whereas in Tough, not so much. Anyways, let me know what you think, if you like having these city videos. I know I had a compilation a couple of weeks ago, and then there's this one, and then next week, which I hope to see you next week, is going to be a speed run for Aegis. So, with that, go ahead and like this video if you liked it, or thumbs down if you didn't like it. If you want to see more videos that go into the details of ops or do some sort of fun things with the ops, go ahead, click that subscribe button. Or if you don't want notifications, don't click that subscribe button. I can't tell you what to do because I'm not your mother. But I do hope to see you again.